Let us discuss the topic on database. What is a database? A collection of related data is known as a database. Table is an example for a database because table contains related data. You consider a table by the name student. The first column contains admission number of the student, second column contains roll number of the student, third column contains name of the student, and so on. So they are all related data, related in the sense the details pertain to that of a student. You can never have a table like this wherein the first column contains admission number of the student, second column contains doctor ID, or the third column contains employee number, and so on. You will never have a table like that. So we can say table always contain related data, and hence table is an example for a database. The next term, what is DBMS? The full form of DBMS is Database Management System. Suppose you write a Python program p1.py to create this table. You write another Python program to modify the data present in this table. You write another Python program to insert more columns into the table. So a collection of programs, that is what is known as a software. Okay, so a collection of programs or a software that is used for creating and maintaining a database is what is known as database management system. Example, FoxPro, DBase, etc. So actually FoxPro and DBase, they are software by means of which you can create a table, you can insert rows into the table, you can modify the content of the table. So that software is known by the name database management system. Now the next one, what is RDBMS? The full form is Relational Database Management System. So while developing the software DBMS, suppose if the codes rule is satisfied, a software or a database management system that satisfies the codes rule is what is known as a relational database management system. Codes rule is actually not there in the syllabus. 12 important properties are there associated with the codes rule. You don't need to study all the 12 properties. For just for the sake of information, let me mention the first three properties of codes rule. The first property of codes rule, information rule. Information rule states that we should be in a position to represent each and every information in a table format. If that is possible, we can say that property 1 of codes rule satisfied. In fact, we can represent any information in a table format. Suppose this is the information that you want to represent in a table format. How do you represent that? You can draw two perpendicular lines. The horizontal line, you can take it as x-axis. The vertical line, you can take it as y-axis. So corresponding to each point, you can represent the x coordinate and y coordinate. Thereby this image can be represented in a table format. So in fact, any information can be represented in a table format. So property 1 of the codes rule, usually it is satisfied. Now, systematic treatment of null values. What is the meaning of null? Null means either a missing entry or an incapable application. This may come for the class 12 board exam or short answer type question. What is the meaning of null? Null means missing entry or incapable application. What is the meaning of incapable application? Suppose there is a student by the name Tom. In his laptop, he opens Microsoft Word. He types a letter and he copies the letter into his pen drive. Okay. Now he inserts this pen drive in Jack's computer. Okay, and the Jack's computer does not contain Microsoft Word. So he will not be able to open this letter in Jack's computer because the application, the corresponding application is missing. So his letter, Tom's letter in Jack's computer is an example for incapable application. Okay, so the word null means either missing entry or incapable application. So if the software has got provision for representing missing entry, then we can say rule 2 of the code's rule, property 2 of the code's rule satisfied. What is the property 3 of the code's rule? The rule of guaranteed access. The rule of guaranteed access states that we should be in a position to retrieve each and every data item using a table name, column name, and a primary key value. What is primary key? That comes in the next section. Okay, so if you are able to retrieve each and every data item using these three parameters, table name, column name, and a primary key value, if that is possible, we can say that property 3 of the code's rule satisfied. Like this, 12 properties are there. Remember any 3. Okay, so if your software, if the database management system satisfies all the 12 properties of code's rule, we can say such a software is relational database management system. And Microsoft Access is an example for relational database management system. So in Microsoft Access, there is provision to treat the null values efficiently in a cell. If you don't enter anything, the system will not show any error message that will be taken as a missing entry or that will be taken as a null value. Okay, so Microsoft Access is an example for relational database management system. Certainly it is a database management system, but Microsoft Access, that database management system satisfies all the 12 properties of code's rule. So we don't say it as DBMS, we say it as RDBMS, relational database management system. Finally, the last one. It is Object Relational Database Management System, or ORDBMS. Okay, the full form is Object Relational Database Management System. Now, if the relational, while developing the software relational database management system, if the object-oriented programming properties are there, if that is followed in the software, that software is known by the name Object Relational Database Management System. So basically, RDBMS plus Object Oriented Programming Properties equals ORDBMS. What is this Object Oriented Programming Properties? See, in Python, operator overloading, polymorphism, they are all examples for object-oriented programming properties. So while developing the software RDBMS, in that software, in that program code, if operator overloading is there, if polymorphism is there, if those object-oriented programming properties are incorporated, then that software is known by the name ORDBMS, Object Relational Database Management System. Your Oracle 8i, Oracle 8i is an example for ORDBMS. Okay, what is 8i? The version of Oracle. We say Windows 95, Windows XP, Windows 10. The XP 10 represents the version of the operating system, isn't it? Similarly, Oracle 8i. 8i is the version of the Oracle software, and I stands for Internet. So these are the first set of terms that you need to study from database.